Genesis chapter 1, 14 to 15. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your monthly Air Tribe report for Aquarius season. Happy birthday, Aquarius. This is most definitely set to be quite an extraordinary one. All right. I wanted to share that Bible verse because this is the definitive definition of what astrology is. All right. Before, of course, the Roman Catholic Church and even iterations of Protestantism monopolized, like certain other religions, the concept of God as something exclusive only through their doctrine you can tap into. It's important to understand that despite the more occult and allegorical significance of the Bible and what it actually means versus how it is taught, we need to, of course, establish that the word of God has always been Christ. And through Christ, I do mean the Maseroth. The word of God has always been the expression and language of God through the patterns of the universe, and not even at any way limited to that. But when we look at the whole concept of an edited and rewritten book as the sole authority of God's word, I hope this Pluto Aquarius transit helps to disillusion you around how it's more a plagiarized narrative and a monopolization of the concept of God that through that missionary work enforced by the colonial powers at the time ended up demonizing the same cultures that they stole a lot of the wisdom from. All right. That being said, that doesn't mean the Bible in and of itself is a bad book, as much as the interpretation of the meaning of what the Bible really speaks. That being said, this first verse of the Bible is a classic definition of what astrology is. And people who have been sold a persuasive definition of astrology based on their limited experiences tend to really criticize and leverage their belief in a concept of God for why their persuasive definition of astrology or witches or demons means that they're able to judge you. So, with that being said, once again, despite whether people mean well or not, the quality, right, as we can see, if we highlight this right now, just for a quick reminder, this is a transit calculator right here. This is the current transits. This is where in the zodiac belt, the solar system, based on this geocentric perspective of Earth, is with this equation calculated. All right. So we see the lights, the luminaries, the sun and the moon, right? And we see the stars and the planets. Okay. And what we are doing, what astrology is it's measuring mathematically through this 360-degree band, calculating the nature of the seasons through signs. Signs are not these mythical creatures or demons. They are mathematical divisions. Aries is 0 degrees, Gemini is 60 degrees, Libra is 180 degrees. If you were to strip all of the Greco-Roman or other cultural influences from this, you would just be left with math and the science of interpreting it. That fundamentally is astrology. Okay, so we're looking at the lights and how they illuminate the position of the stars and planets through signs and seasons. That's astrology. Now let's go back to that verse. Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for, you guessed it, signs and seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament to give the heavens, to give the light on earth, aka, you guessed it, astrology. That's it. So the reason why I'm saying that is, in this epoch of Saturn coming out of Pisces and disillusioning the entire collective of beliefs you're going to see people just follow blindly for the rest of their lives, Pluto in Aquarius is awakening the knowledge of humanity. It is returning the wisdom as we re-enter this age of knowledge. And I want to just establish any Christian who claims to understand the Bible, okay, and tells you that they don't believe in astrology. You don't believe that the sun is burning right now, though. Whether you believe the sun is burning, the sun is there. So astrology is not a belief. But any Christian who tells you that they understand the Bible and that they don't believe in astrology does not even understand the first chapter of that book. You cannot take them serious. Under no circumstance can you take them serious. Debunking divination part 3 coming soon. Debunking divination debunked part 3 coming soon. We are awakening into this reclamation of our power and our ability, where integrity is our guide. For example, magic or witchcraft. We are awakening to the knowledge of the persuasive definition that magic is bad versus the integrity that defines someone who uses magic for good versus someone who uses magic for bad. Just like people use the Bible in church to deceive and steal millions from so many people. But you wouldn't say the Bible is bad. No, it's more the person who's using it. So a lot of these things through science and religion throughout the previous centuries has been a monopolization to control how it is you connect with God, aka the universal force, power, and essence. That throughout human history, all sorts of cultures have given a name to and have ascribed some set of beliefs. You have some people who are caught up in this illusion. Of course, the most recent and updated belief are certain branches of science, okay, with their inconclusive theoretical models that believing in is as absurd as believing in the flying spaghetti monster or certain religions. All right, Sage Page, thank you very much. I'm going to pull a tarot card for you. For those of you who would like a tarot live reading, I got you. So this is the awakening. I do what I do because it frustrates me to see so many people denied their own power, their own ability to connect, because they're forced to have to go through a middleman and feel like they're inferior or shameful because they believe in themselves. All right. Of course, the integrity with which someone does something, by their fruit ye shall know them, is one thing, but to really awaken through this judgment of how someone practices their faith, because they have to go by your doctrine, that's dead. The Pluto Sagittarius generation born after 95, they are killing it. It's done. Just like Pluto Libras killed marriage. Fun fact, Pluto Libra, those born like in the late 70s to 80s, they were here to destroy marriage as you know it. Like, if it wasn't for their generation, people would still be super traditional, not divorcing people they get married to, even though they're in shitty relationships. Did divorce happen before Pluto Libras? Oh, yeah. But trust me, they put that shit on the map. I'm so sorry. To the point where Pluto Scorpios aren't even getting married. Rarely Pluto Scorpios get married. Like, the millennials are like, yeah, no budget. Like, I don't know if I could afford marriage. Pluto Libra did their job. That's all. No one wants to be like Pluto Virgo. No offense. Pluto Virgo, Pluto Leo. It is what it is. And so Pluto Aqua is gonna oppose Pluto Leo. Pluto Pisces is gonna oppose Pluto Virgo. Is there a planet placement that makes us not believe in marriage? Jessica, that's such a good question. Yes and no. Like, it's something that, of course, is going to be timeless, but you could actually source it to just the Pluto generations alone and the Uranus cycles in between them, in context with how this actually affects this. Like, once you look at those cycles, it literally shows you to the degree. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. You know the even crazier thing, Val. Yes. So the thing about planet placements as well is the same planet placements, for example, that will make you not want kids. Like, let's say you have Saturn in the fifth. Saturn in the fifth could literally extremely limit your desire to even like connect in that way, right? So that same aspect that will make you not want kids could be the exact same aspect that will make someone else extremely desire kids. That's the cool thing about like aspects and dealing with questions like this. So there's not necessarily a specific placement or something that makes someone do something. That specific placement just shows you how it is you express it, because we're all one. So everyone's going to, in their own way, want to do this. And it took me a while to kind of realize that. So someone who would want kids, they're going to be very serious about having to take it more serious. So it's really, it really is transcendent. The astrology and the zodiac will just show you how it plays out, right? For example, there is no zodiac sign that cheats the most. It's going to look like some of them cheat more because they're more sloppy. But there's no zodiac sign that cheats. Everyone cheats. Everyone cheats. But the zodiac sign will detail exactly how they cheat. How Aries is a much more reckless cheater than Scorpio, who's much more crafty. Like, it lets you know how. It lets you know how they're all faithful. It lets you know how they all cheat. So I got to really learn. I came in the game thinking, okay, this sign does it the most. This sign does it. Then I realized, oh, it's all one. We all ain't shit. We all ain't shit. I mean, we're all amazing. We're all amazing. So yes. All right. Okay. I want to also, let me see if I can find this next verse. Shout out to you guys, by the way. I appreciate you rocking with me, being live. I Oh God. I randomly came up with the decision to start this way. And relative to this awakening and reclamation, uh this is with what Pluto and Aquarius were beginning to step into. So by 2026, 2027, Uranus will be in Gemini, and we will complete this shift into the next era. And it begins with Pluto Aquarius, which is this reawakening of knowledge. It's literally a scientific revolution. And what makes it revolutionary is the collective awakening of every living being on this planet. Um okay. Yo, this is crazy. Okay. So I didn't want to read this chapter because it's long, but given that it's January 24th, 2024, I want to read to you Matthew 24. Okay. There's a prophetic quality to this that will really set this year off as the climax of this tribulation period. So if you're ready, I'm gonna read this, then I'm gonna pull a card, and then we're gonna get into the messages. All right. Whew. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings. Do you see all these things? He asked. Truly, I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down. As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Jesus answered, watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name claiming, I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All of these things are the beginning of birth pains. Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear to deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, the Antichrist, spoken through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down and take anything out the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath. Flight. For then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. At that time, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Messiah, or there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of time. So if anyone tells you, there he is out in the wilderness, do not go out. Or here he is in the inner rooms, do not believe it. For as lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, there the vultures will gather. Who's dropping vultures? Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly, I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. But about the day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. As it was in the days of Noah. Remember, we're building Noah's Ark. All right. So as it was in the days of Noah with Nephilim and just mad evil and people being shiesty, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away. This is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. Remember, you built your ark. 2 men will be in the field. One will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding with the handmill. One will be taken and the other left. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this: if the owner of the house had known at what time of the night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him. Who then is the faithful and wise servant, whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly, I tell you, he will put him in charge of all of his possessions. But suppose that servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time. And he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards. The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. And yeah, I feel I did not plan to read this verse at all. This completely channeled to me, and I realized it's January 24th, 2024. So yes, I'm going to do a whole Bible study session, because just like you have Christians who demonize astrology because they don't understand it, you have people who have such a bad experience with Christianity that they don't really understand the Bible as well. So like people kind of confuse the way people have misused the Bible for what the Bible represents. It's still a good treatise. It's still a good allegory. Okay. That was Matthew 24. That entire chapter was Matthew chapter 24. So, you know, before in the way the Bible was taught, it was read to illiterate people. So there is how people wanted to take the message of the Bible and deceive people with it. And then there's what the Bible passages actually mean and how it was intended to be taught. Like there's a whole Masonic Bible that exists that goes into these deeper occult themes. But if you read it at just a surface level, you start to not account for certain discrepancies. For example, because of this Bible verse, throughout so much in the history of mankind, so many people have felt that it was their end times. I mean, think about it. If you put that verse in context, Jesus Christ is saying this to the disciples. So when Nero was killing Christians left and right, they called him the Antichrist. And for everything that they felt that they were living in the last times. Jesus literally says that your generation will not pass until all these things happen. So either he's lying or maybe there's an understanding about this, if you read it in the right context, that is very, 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 spelled out, if you feel what I'm saying. So one of the key things that were said is the stars will fall apart. Basically, this framework is going to, this matrix is going to fizzle out. But the most important thing I wanted to say is I strongly believe that 2024 is going to, exactly, their generation did pass, unless you are looking more into how it's been misinterpreted and how a lot of these passages have been rewritten, how there's no historicity in the book of John. For example, I was in my 30s when I found out that the whole story of Jesus telling people, thou, if you, whoever has not sinned, cast the first stone. If you've ever heard about that story in the book of John about the prostitute who they wanted to stone, and Jesus said, those of you who, that never happened. There is actually no historicity that happened. So if you think that the gospel are books written as accounts to certain people's relationship of Jesus Christ, and then you realize that the copies of these books didn't start to be written and discovered until like 800 years after, it's important to understand how and why, when you now look at the advent of how this was now changed in the Roman Catholic Church, and then doctrine was now built branching out through Protestantism, the fundamental context and understanding of these stories that were borrowed from other cultures, which I don't think people really recognize, is what helps you look at these passages with a much more nuanced lens. And in Hebrew, generation can mean era, just like eternity could mean just like a period, right? An epoch. So, right, meat for men, milk for babies, something like that. Exactly. So basically, one thing about 2024 that and the Matthew 24 verse, people claiming they're the Messiah, false prophets, false gods, we are coming into the climax of the collective awakening of humanity. So we've been awakening these abilities and spiritual gifts, and it's the perpetual reminder that just because you see someone use a spiritual gift doesn't mean that they're good people. Just because somebody gives you a very accurate reading doesn't mean that they will not take advantage of you. And this is going to mark this true ascension into the extraordinary reawakening of humanity, where so many people with their God complexes will take it across the edge. Imagine if a God complex has been being built in so many people that you've seen signs of, and this is the year that they go full blown out, versus people who actually practice and live in truth and have transcended their ego by not, ascribing everything to it. All right. Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna get the way I want to approach the Bible study is I'll schedule it. Like I'll structure it. So we'll have like the first 10 lessons already set out. You'll know what we're gonna do the next couple of weeks. I got you. We'll definitely do this. I'll make the playlist, everything. But yeah, before I start the reading, I just wanted to kind of establish that with this disillusionment and spiritual narcissism, with people blind to the way that they're basically, you know what I mean, like trying to monopolize the faith. When you see people argue, remember, this universe is not local and real, and everyone hallucinates their conscious reality. So people arguing around their faith and beliefs and perspectives are basically arguing about the they're they're pointing out the log in other people's eye, not the speck in their own. But when you see people like arguing faith, they're trying to monopolize their belief system against someone else's belief system. And um it's a sort of folly to kind of assume that you have the belief that is going to help you understand everything about the world, to the point where you're starting to criticize how other people live their life outside of them, to the point that you overlook the good fruit people are bearing in their life because it doesn't look the way you think it's supposed to. So this is going to really, 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 really extremely, like, you've been feeling this pressure. We are coming into a next level of this extremeness. And that's why I wanted to start this during the Air Tribe report too, to just start with the word. This is the word that created everything. And that word is not a book. That word was in the beginning. It wasn't in the beginning was the canonized book. It was the word. This is the word that we can all connect to through logic, logos, truth. And this is the whole message of Christ, the whole message of every Messiah or Christ that has ever walked through earth, was to remind you, just like Jesus told the disciples, you're going to perform works and wonders greater than me. I must leave so the Holy Spirit can come through. All right. You possess that direct connection to, I don't even want to say God, to the universe, to this universal power. God being transcendent and imminent to the universe. There is no middleman. Your walk with God is your walk with God. That is your judge who will judge your life. So really put on that armor and swing your sword, because, you know, this is definitely going to really continue to expose a lot of how many people, um, even though they mean well, are really just NPCs regurgitating rhetoric that is not really based at all in reality. Okay. And it's not like they go out of their way to just not make sense. This is due to conditioning, brainwashing, nuance, being deceived, not realizing how much they've been deceived. So just keep that in mind. Don't be willing to take people serious who are just projecting their false beliefs towards you. You may have happened to trigger them because of how freely you stand in your power. And, you know, continue to heal them in that way, but also mind your business, as these will also account for distractions to just kind of derail you from that conviction. Other than that, though, the reason why I'm speaking about this is a lot of the understanding of the world is based off of ancient practices. Okay, a lot of the understanding of life and death is still tied into religion. Like, a lot of people understand angels attached to religion. A lot of people kind of understand elements of the afterlife attached to cultural beliefs and mythology. So what this reawakening is doing is it's killing all of the mythology. It's killing all of the rhetoric. You need to take everything you've ever learned about mythology, fantasy, science fiction, religion, inconclusive, materialist, reductionist, theoretical models of science, and throw it in the trash. You are away. That was necessary as a crutch so that we can use these symbols to make sense of the universe. We don't need them anymore. Now it's kind of going to hold you back. It's all about energy. What if you could awaken the ability to just interface with it? Let me give you a classic example. Yes, you are going to be able to access this. Happy birthday, Aquarius. Okay. Some of you who are coming out the diaspora, right? Or regardless of what you practice, some of you are hesitant to really embrace those roots. You want to embrace like these deep spiritual roots, whether from Africa or Cuba or whatnot, but you don't necessarily like the tradition. Like in the tradition, you are able to connect with certain universal forces, but the way that the old generation did this was through sacrificing, pouring the blood on it, certain rites. It's like, okay, this God says we have to do this, this, and this. This God says we have to do this, this, and this. And for its time, it worked. And some of you feel out of place, like, I believe this, but I don't feel like that's the way to do it. And what you are coming into is, instead of back then where they followed that tradition, you have a direct connection with these beings. So you are the tradition. The way that you do this is so much more smooth. A lot of what maybe had to happen back then, because that was how they had to learn, you have transcended. And that's a major theme of how you are the revolution, because now everyone who is reawakened is a puzzle piece. And until we come together and connect that puzzle together, unless we kill each other because people like to hate on each other, whatever side wins, this is what's going to be a part of this innovation of how we re-understand modern principles that we have borrowed from ancient cultures that are obsolete. I don't want to say they're obsolete now, but it is entire renaissance. So the air signs, right, Christopher Brown? I feel you. It's like I didn't even plan to do this. Like all of this happened within the span of 2 minutes of me starting this video. Like I didn't even plan to go in like this, but I was like, it's fitting for the air signs because Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon, you are embodying as the humanitarian, as the water bearer, as a star, this principle. Everyone is, but you are the innovative, revolutionary genius archetype. Everyone's going to play their part in this, but you Aquarius placements are going to really step that in for better, for worse. Geminis, y'all are going to be the messengers, just like I'm kind of talking about it. And Libra is going to be the artist to use their creations to guide society and basically plug them to the right Aquarius. That's basically that, yeah. That's basically that plug. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of break down the air sign transits, and I'm so honored I got to read Matthew 24 because to me, I feel like that was an activation. All right. I consider you all the elect. And being elect, I feel, is almost being chosen by yourself due to actions that align you with integrity. And that's really the universal principle, that it doesn't matter what religion you believe in, you just need to have integrity. There's no religion that needs to teach you how to take care of the sick and poor and not exploit other fucking people and treat others the way you need to be treated. There's no one religion that monopolizes this commandment to love one another, right? But when we start to, but basically, I feel like it really was an activation as the elect to really simulate this process. Like if there was ever a Pluto generation that the Antichrist really shows itself, I truly believe it's going to be Pluto Aquarius. I think over the next 22 years, we're going to see everything that was written in this chapter actually happen. And it doesn't have to be in a way where it's specific to just this book. I think it's the convergence of many prophecies and understandings. I think it's something that's timeless. A lot of that could be translated. You see, I'm not going to say this is what it means, but an opinion I have, a lot of that could be translated as far as no one knows the day or the time, right? Not even the sun. This is your greater I am presence. This is your higher self contacting and communicating with you. A lot of the rapture, you could, in a way, I'm not going to claim that this is exactly it, but instead of looking at the rapture literally, as far as like people really disappearing, if you think there are going to be people who are raptured, your crown chakra opens and you ascend. Okay. So it's almost as if you won't be here anymore. The you that you ascend into, in some cases, maybe you bring your light body with you, but it's like you're literally in a different consciousness. You vibrate, even if you're still here, you vibrate at such a different level. It's like you have people who are left behind at a certain state of consciousness. And then people who rapture, if this brain is your heaven, it's like you raise that kundalini and you rapture, right? You awaken your God-given gifts, and now you bring heaven on earth. Versus people who get left behind and experience hell. Shh, don't tell anybody, because we're not supposed to tell you that. We're supposed to tell you to actually just pay us money so that maybe you can go to heaven. But they used to, so what I just told you right now, they used to kill people. Thousands of people used to die because this is Christianity. This is what people preached. This is what people preached. But, certain institutions couldn't handle that. And then they remixed and like edited how it is they tell you this message through their monopolization. Okay. So just something to keep that in mind. Let's see what card we have here. Interesting. So we do have the 10 of Cups, the air sign, the message of air signs with the 10 of Cups is talking about happily ever after. Really, it's talking about emotional fulfillment and bliss, but I'm really getting the happily ever after. I feel like if some of you feel like it's too good to be true, this is a reminder that there's only blessings and bliss here for you. Um, whether you have imposter syndrome or not, I think some of you are so caught up with the illusion and fog that is dissipating. All right. Or the lies that your eyes can tell you. All right. So this isn't necessarily falling out of your lap. When I say that this is your happily ever after, this isn't necessarily you getting lucky one day and you meeting the love of your life. No, you are the love of someone else's life that they're coming to get this fulfillment. Shout out to Forest Fairy Tarot. She's the one who actually gifted me this deck. It's a Pokemon deck. Fire. This is based off of your work blooming. You made this happen. You did this. This is a natural climax to emotions that have been building for a while. Oh my God. So it's very beautiful because you don't necessarily want to lose sight of what's around you. This isn't something that, oh, this is going to happen to me. Nice. I'm going to come into fulfillment. This is you looking around to see, oh, it's coming from you. This is what you bring everywhere you go. And I think it's tying you into the community of friends, family, partners, that lovers that actually share in this with you. Okay. We also want to keep in mind that the 10 of Cups is Mars in Pisces, and that's never happened before. Holy crap. That was wild. Mars in Pisces is going to happen in March. So a lot of this Aquarius season is going to set you up for this. And at the conclusion of this harvest, it's not like there's nothing you have to do, right? Or it's not like there's anything you have to do. This is in, but it's not. This is nothing you're really waiting for. This is just the natural unfolding. Okay, so then that was just the underlying theme. Oh my God! Stop! Oh, Jirachi! Holy shit! Holy shit! No, we did not just get the Aquarius card for Aquarius season, dude. Your wish is coming true. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant. I was saying all this bullshit earlier about oh, you're coming in emotional fulfillment. You might, because I didn't want to jump the gun. I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to sound like I was being biased or like you're happily ever after. Your dream is coming true. Your dream is, I was trying to kind of, play it lightfoot and kind of beat around the bush. No, this is it. This is wild. Holy shit. You're just going to give me a birthday. You're just going to give me a birthday gift on my birthday while I'm having my birthday on my birthday and shit and my birthday gift. This is it. This is powerful. So this is why this is an underlying theme, because I feel like this isn't necessarily just you having a wish come true. You are this wish come true in someone's life. This is powerful, guys. This is very powerful. First of all, if you're around an Aquarius, exploit the Aquarians. All right. Find any Aquarian you can exploit. This could be look, don't get mad at me, Aquarius. This is as easily as done as just talking to one. Find a way that they can just be a part of anything you can do. Hey, can I take a picture of you? Anything. You can be like, see, yeah, I know this person. And when I say exploit, I mean just find a way to you don't have to use them, but if you do, it will be very benefit. They got the wish energy right now. All right. They hot right now. It's they season. Just find a way to talk about them. Talk to them. If you talk about them, put them in a good light. I'm trying to have you if you can be friends with an Aquarius during this period, this is basically your cheat code. Okay. Pretend like they're lonely and they need a friend. They probably don't, but just be that imposing person for them. And then also Capricorn is definitely using them, but y'all are right there. And then just get all the knowledge you need from them. Just ask them shit you don't know and watch them suddenly either have this AI app that answers it, or they just suddenly know. All right. This is the last year that Aquarius is going to dirty awaken. Once we step into next year, their awakening is complete. They're stepping full into a sage page. Welcome to Infinity Club. Welcome to the gang. All right. If y'all need a friend, hit up an Aquarius. If they ghost you, just stalk them. Not too much to where they do something about it, but just at least if you can't be a friend, be an antagonistic force, it's the perfect time to beef with an Aqua, but not heavy beef, just petty beef, just so during the season you have to this is insane. Aqua risings, Aqua moon. This is very shameful what I'm doing, but I don't give a fuck. This is crazy. Yeah, if there's any way that you can, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You can ask them questions. I need to be very clear. Coming into next year, right? Coming into next year, Pluto is going to be officially in Aqua, meaning this is the last year it retrogrades back. Once we go into the end of this year and it's ready to really begin its transit, meaning it's not going to retrograde back into Capricorn, That's it. You need to be very careful about Aquarius. They're going to be like Omni-Man. They're going to be like a Viltrumite that's like, oh, we have to take over the world now. So like this is the last year. Like they're just coming into their awakening so you can catch them fresh. They're not fully aware yet of how much awakened they are. So they might kind of let some shit leak. You know what I'm saying? In fact, you can call them out right now too and be like, you're not even from here, are you? They'll probably tell you the star system they're from. Like this is it. This is it. All right. So like really just go in. It is what it is. This having an aqua IC count, you let me know. That means you're probably Scorpio rising, so you embody wisdom. But like, yeah, I was not expecting to get the Jirachi. You can literally even, reality hack. Normally you do this to Pisces, okay? But Pisces are trolls. Now Aquarius are tricksters, so be careful about them. They are they're not entirely just manipulative like an evil cap. But they are some tricksters. Like they will convince you to do some shit you may not want to do, or like they'll get you. And I don't mean like a fraud. I just mean like they might just play just to see how smart you are or not. Cool. Normally I'll tell you to do this with Pisces, but they're trolls. So like if you can like talk to an Aquarius, right? Just be like, hey, how you doing? I'm good. How are the kids? Oh, I'm nice. Oh, I'm all right. I just wish I had $5 million in my account right now. Yeah, that would be so awesome, right? I wish I had this. I wish I had that. Hold on, let me get my list. I wish this happened. I wish this. And at some point, as you go down the list, they'll probably know what you're doing. Aquarius is very quick. They're probably going to know like immediately when you do it, but just get as much as you can done. All right. Normally you keep a Pisces around so you can do this, but like they're trolls. If you get Pisces to do it, they'll make your wish come true, but like in a very troll way. Like it'd be like, this isn't what I meant. And Pisces will be like, I wish you spoke more clearly. So like, this is really, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Some of the Aquariuses won't mind. That's why if they're a good friend, they'll be like, I know what this person's doing. All right, what else do you wish? Cool. If they don't like it, they might hang up and be like, all right, I wish you shut the fuck up. So like, it is what it is. But honestly, as long as you get that good one wish in, it's worth it. Even if it burns the bridge, it's worth it. That's hey, Aqua, don't be mad. Don't be mad. You gotta listen. It is what it is. This is supernatural shit. Pisces are jinns, yes. And Aquarius manifests this perspective. When I say Pisces are jinns, that's not entirely true, but that's the archetype, honestly. So yeah, it is what it is. Sagittarius is Aquarius's neighbor. So Sag doesn't need to do this. Aqua is Aries' best friend. Aqua is always around the Aries. So y'all be good. Cap is right next to Aqua. Cap manifests Aqua, so don't really need to find Aqua. And Pisces, you're you. So just, I'm not even going to talk about you. So it is. We're gonna go to the water tomorrow. So it is what it is. The gods plus Aries is all right. And yeah, the rest of us like do what you can. All right. It's to the point where anything that you do, like, hold me to this. If for the rest of Aquarius season, if for the rest of winter, you encounter an Aquarius and Aquarius texts you, calls you, or you do anything with sun, moon, rising, I need you to mark down the time it happened and prepare for something to happen every time. Hold me to this. It doesn't even have to be like your wish coming true. Like, I just kind of want you to practice doing that. Don't do that with Pisces because they'll lead you down a rabbit hole. They will. Pisces will kind of like hit you with the synchronicity train, and then you're going to be up at 4 a.m. in the morning with different like whiteboards connecting the conspiracies. You can do that with Aquarius. They are, at least were born at the aqua point. So even if they rabbit hole you, there's a basis of knowledge they're coming from. So like, yeah, it is. Pisces will just completely fling you down head first and not even give a fuck. They don't even care about you. He didn't even care about you. So like you be acting like they don't care about you, but I promise you. So like, yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Hey, I got you. But if you do, you owe me a steak. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Yes. Yes. Okay. So, and let me know, email me your results. Let me tell you something. Buddha AQ on 2 separate occasions. He is the legendary form of Aquarius. So you have different type of aqua. You got the original celestial, the Aries moon aqua. You got the true celestial, the Gemini moon aqua. You got the classic celestial, the Libra moon aqua. Then you got the elite celestial. That's Kid Cudi. That's Buddha AQ. Okay. So like the elite celestial, the cosmic aqua moon celestial, and the divine celestial are the 3 elite celestials. So Buddha AQ on 2 separate occasions has told me how he has stated affirmations and not like repeating it, like he's just he as we work magic, he's kind of shown me some testimonials of how he's kind of intended things, and in that case money has come. Okay. And that was before Pluto went into their sign. So I'm being very serious here. And his readings are on point. His readings are super on point. Check him out on TikTok and Instagram. You will not be disappointed. So I'm really serious about this. Okay. Like, I seen him do it. He showed me receipts. So I'm being completely honest. This is their season. If you are contacted, if you find any engagement, I want you to see the causality in unrelated or related cases between what you guys did and what happens. And I want you to start to notice these are supernatural entities. With Pisces, they entities, never mind their identity. All right, cool. So we got fucking Dirachi. This is also you claiming and stepping into your own star power. So the reason why I love this is over the next 25 days, over Aquarius season, picture the exhilaration of all of your greatest dreams coming true. This is not just the dreams coming true. This is the 10, the full completion of everything. Imagine how amazing you would feel if you got a career milestone, your relationship, love life was amazing, something unexpectedly amazing happened, everything in your life. Like, that's what you are stepping into this Aquarius season. That is the signature of this Aquarius season. And let's put it in context. It's not like it's just Aquarius season. Aquarius season is making a 270-degree angle to Uranus and Jupiter and Taurus. It's the completion of the harvest. It's also getting ready to set up the great dream, Kazemi in Pisces. So even mathematically, that's what this is saying too. We are coming into the fullness of the harvest and knowing what the dream looks like, getting ready to establish a new cycle, achieving this dream. This is also supernatural abilities. This is also speaking on spiritual gifts that enable you to interact with yourself at this cosmic level. Whew. This is very inspirational. So be prepared to be initiated into the supernatural. If some of you are Isis or connect with Isis, she's awakening within you at a deeper level. If some of you deal with her, she's revealing herself to you, my G. Okay. Wow, that's fire. That's why I was not expecting this, to be honest with you. Wow. La Estrella. And of course, Sage Page, I'm going to give you 2 cards because you joined Infinity Club and you also donated 20. So we're going to start the live reading with you. I got 2 cards for you. Oh, awesome. And I enjoyed doing your progressed reading this afternoon. It was super awesome. Super awesome. Yeah, bro. Oh, yeah. For those of you who I didn't for those what was like for those of you who connect with the Osiris archetype, Isis is revealing herself to you again. But I didn't realize that there are women who kind of connect and embody the Osiris archetype too. Like I can understand men who may be a vessel of Isis or connect at a feminine level, but like that's something to keep in mind as well. Like I've met a woman who is like a goddess of the underworld, and she's directly connected to Isis, and she already was aware of that. So it really opened me up to the multi-potential variability of so many combinations of archetypes. You have so many combinations of how these planets and asteroids can express themselves. And it's really just a perpetual reminder that none of them are separate. It's really just all one, you know? Wow. That's wild. The name Osiris means mighty. That's crazy. Yeah, some people equate Pluto and Hades to Osiris. And that rulership of the underworld. So yeah, let us begin with the kids say the darnest thing sign, Gemini. If Gemini was a game show, it would easily be kids say the darndest things. I don't even know if that's a game show, but if like that entire show is the definition of Gemini, like in its entirety, completely and definitely. So like you have the gods of death, you have goddesses of death, and some of you are realizing that you're immortal and you can't die. This is also what some of you Gemini risings and suns and moons, but mainly the risings are coming into. So in fact, that's where I'm going to start this Gemini reading. Oh, well, see, here's the thing. Like at the same time, all of these beings transcend the zodiac. So just like I was saying before, and it took me a while to really learn this, just like I was saying before, how like every sign cheats and every sign can be faithful. So there's not really a zodiac sign that cheats the most. The sign just shows you how it plays out, right? That I learned is also with these beings. So like Osiris isn't a zodiac sign. Lucifer isn't a zodiac sign. Goddesses aren't zodiac signs. They can express themselves like planets through each zodiac sign, but you will still associate a zodiac sign to them, which I know is definitely what you mean by that question. But I just wanted to kind of push that out there. Just so in looking beyond it, you start to see more like the signature and other stuff. Especially Pisces is going to represent anything that's beyond, right? Versus something specific and precise with Virgo and Scorpio. So Gemini, let's start with that. All right. The whole key towards Uranus's 2026 to 2030 transit in Gemini is to suddenly awaken your mind and activate what has been manifesting in your body. This is what is going to facilitate the collective awakening with Pluto and Aquarius. And Geminis are going to embody this. What's really, really key, because these Gemini transits affect the Gemini part in everybody, right? So it's not going to be specific to just Gemini, but you'll see that Gemini risings especially begin to kind of already feel this before the rest of the world. And what I want to, unrelated to just Gemini, to speak to everyone about this is, what if you were immortal? And I don't mean in the cop-out sense that people say, oh yeah, you're immortal. No, bitch. What if you could not die? What if like you transition and then you couldn't transition? You feel me? Because people will say, oh, your soul is infinite And I believe that every soul is infinite. No one ever really dies. Cool. What if you were immortal, though? Like, what if conventionally, in the way we think about it, what if death triggers your power? Some of you have abilities that exist beyond the physical. So certain things that occur that people write off, it's almost as if that's your strength in a certain way. So like it's a facet of yourself that you may not necessarily know you even possess outside of small indicators, like maybe you don't age as quick as others, right? And I'm using immortality as a shadow monarch. You definitely got that archetype. It's definitely like I'm using immortality as an example, but especially for Gemini, I'm talking about full-on spiritual gifts. For example, thank you, Heather. I most definitely got you. All right. If you have Gemini placements, if you have a Gemini, first of all, you don't need to have Gemini placements for this. But for those of you who have Gemini placements, Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, Uranus is coming out your 12th. Since 2018, this has inspired a sense of radical isolation in you. And while Pluto has been transforming Capricorn, this, like in everyone, is representing the awakening of our body. Now that Uranus got out of Aries and Pluto already finished out of Sagittarius, like 2008, right? So if you think that Gemini is an angel, Gemini, the function of your spirit, soul, or personality is celestial. Libra is celestial. Aquarius is the celestial. So you are an angelic being. Angels do not need to sleep, and angels do not need to eat. The air sign in the earth dimension, like a fish out of water, takes the celestial properties of your spirit or soul. And in the earth dimension where everything is limited, it's going to look like, oh, you have ADD, your mind just thinks very fast, blah, blah. But that is the materialist, reductionist attempt to describe your alien quality. In a way, angels are aliens, air signs. You feel me? And it's not limited to that. Everyone has that celestial quality of mind as we all unified. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is a lot of this quick function of your mind is your body integrating with your spirit or your air. And it's analogous of the energy that is fast because you vibrate fast, because you don't need, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of you might be aware of this. Tell me if I'm capping or not. If you have, and this is not limited to Gemini energy, but like if you have Gemini Sun, Moon, or Rising, I want you to let me know, especially recently. Comment a 3 if you were hungry and then you had an amazing conversation, either with yourself or with somebody else, and now you're not that hungry anymore. You had a very nourishing conversation where you really activated your word and we're talking with your spirit, and now you're not hungry anymore. For those of you who experienced that, and thankfully there are other versions of this, so it's not limited to just Geminis, but this is represented through Gemini, the awakening of your mind. You are nourishing yourself with your own energy. You have the ability to nourish yourself with your own energy. You are still containing a physical vessel. So that's why you will still, through human conditioning, still be hungry. At the end of the day, you still have a physical body. So what if I told you that since 2008, the process of this to now transcend dependence of this is setting you up to be a breatharian? What's going to be a huge movement moving forward is the ability to be self-sustaining through breath and light. And that is crazy. It is as crazy as telling people in the 1800s that we're going to have a gay president or gay marriage is going to be legalized. It's as crazy as telling people in the BCE era that there will be motor vehicles that are traveling horses or flights. This is something that has been awakening in people subconsciously. You're not just awakening the ability to just not be able to eat, but you have been realizing that at an increasing quality, gradually, slowly, gradually, I need less sleep. I need less food. Yeah, I can give in to old conditioning and develop habits that get in the way of this awakening, but I am still awakening. Even if I have to subconsciously induce catastrophic events that force me to transform my habits, like an accident or an illness, for me to take this very serious. Okay. Obviously, when you think of breatharian, you might think, what? All I eat is breath. But we can look at this more realistically to where if maybe your diet composed of 90% food, now because of your own innate natural energy, you can survive off of 20, 30%. You can really fast every day, eat minimally, and literally just live off your energy. The reason, like, with Christopher Brown, you've been channeling this is because you've been lied about your existence your entire life. You've been lied about your potential and everything you can do your entire life. You've been lied about your anatomy and biology your entire life. And you always knew it. And you're becoming aware of the fact that you were right the whole time. You just didn't know how to put it into words. You just didn't necessarily know the vocabulary of how to make sense of that. And people exploited the fact that you didn't know how to communicate it and made you think that's because you don't know and you need to give your power away and listen to other authorities. Living off God. Okay. So, of course, this isn't necessarily going to happen automatically, but the whole Pluto Aquarius transit to 2044 and Uranus leaving and entering Cancer, this is going to begin this accelerated process. Because if we had this accelerated process, your body wouldn't be able to handle it. You would now have a body that has not been deconditioned, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. You would feel like you're dying. But you've now spent a whole decade through the 2010s and early 2020s preparing your body for this, all subconsciously. It's not like you were, well, some of you were consciously channeling this. So I'm so grateful that I can confirm this change happening in the bodies. And now Uranus and Gemini and Pluto and Aquarius is working on your brain. Your mind has to have the power from your body to run healthily. So now that we awakened our body, we can awaken our mind. And that's what this starts off with. Neptune in Aries is our ability to cast our mental projections and see it. Instead of Neptune being in Pisces, where we have to go within our body and imagine, this is going to get ready to project out and reflect in technology as well. All right. So chew on that concept, because if you believe that you are targeted, does it make sense that corporations, governments, and interest groups don't want you to know that you have this potential, want to hire experts to, through society, shame and ridicule you for purporting such ideas, contagious ideas that take away their money, that will destroy billions of dollars of revenue from people who decide they don't need our product because they can manifest it themselves? Are you starting to see the nature of this revolution? Why it will not be televised at all? Why it has been prophesied by every group of people and every walk of life? Because the one thing that unites every walk of life is integrity and truth. Everyone can breathe air. Everyone can tell each other the truth and not lie to each other. It is always a choice. So, okay, Yaya, I'm so glad you said it. I didn't want to necessarily put this narrative out there, but do you guys know that they hunt psychics? Like they hunt magicians and psychics and then they tell you that that's a conspiracy theory. So I don't really like to put that out there, but another reason why you are awakening this ability is that's like the superpowers you're awakening, that's what you're going to use to protect yourself. I would say 65 to 95% of what you're going to be using these awakened powers to do is to protect yourself from the other agents, psychic agents, god level threats that will seek to kill you because you're a threat. Just the fact that you exist is a threat to them because you can awaken people. And if you awaken enough people, their control is over. I feel like they come a lot for Scorpio. I think they come a lot for Scorpio, Aquarius, and well, they come for everybody, but I feel like it's hard for them to get at Sagittarius, so they come to other people close to them. But they come for Gemini, but they have they killed JFK, but like it is what it is. It is what it is. They representing a collective force that can show up through any unrelated individual, so they don't even have to know each other. But yeah. What happens when we all come together and establish and craft a new government similar to the French Revolution, just maybe without the beheading, and maybe with more Glocks? Well, we're about to find out. All right. So first of all, congratulations, Gemini. You are wrapping up a cycle that you have initiated since 2012. Okay. So I want you to comment a 3 if, as a Gemini sun, rising, or moon, you feel like you are reading the 11th or 12th chapter of a 12-chapter book. Let me know if you feel like you're closing up what may have felt like 2011, where you are closing up the last 12-chapter book. So for those of you who commented 3, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. If you think this past cycle was like good, like I'm not going to lie, like you are closing the book and you're like, this was a good book, right? For those of you who feel like the book you read over the past 12 years was a good book, please comment an exclamation mark. And for those of you who really appreciate this evolution throughout this book you read, I hate to break it to you. For those of you who commented an exclamation mark, you haven't seen nothing. You haven't seen nothing. That was nothing. That was nothing. It was nothing at all. And I'm not trying to diminish the book you read. I'm just trying to say this next book is so off the gate. Like the first 5 chapters of this next book is so crazy. You're going to look at the last book as mid. And here is a major facet of the last book. The last 12-chapter book and cycle was the Great Illusionment. It was the invasion of the influencers. And it was the Great Illusion that took over. So it was the entire Neptune Pisces arc. And a lot of that squared you. So I want you to comment 2 exclamation marks if you feel like the past book had you come into major sacrifices. I mean, everyone makes major sacrifices, but it's like a large facet of that last 12 chapters. You weren't able to really be seen because of how your words were being twisted, because of maybe what felt like the entire collective targeting you, ganging up on you. You know what I mean? You're not a victim, right? But a major facet of this Gemini perspective tale is many of you took the sacrifice for the entire collective. You did not compromise truth. And so knowing that you may have failed to gain and move forward in certain ways, you sacrificed standing on your truth. You know what I'm saying? Instead of kind of coming into the benefits. Classic example of this is Ice Cube. Ice Cube, not Ice T. Ice Cube turned down millions of dollars because they tried to, you know what, to him, and he said, "No, I'm good. I'm not anti that. I'm not Republican or Democrat. I just want to," you know what I'm saying? So and regardless if you have Gemini energy or not, but for those of you who embody Gemini, it's going to let you know the perspective of what you're going through that with. This next cycle is now you coming into the rewards for that sacrifice, because that's going to sponsor the Neptune and Aries arc. And because you maintain truth, now in your 11th house of Aries, you are attracting the people in your circle, their community of people are like, "We seen what you did when everyone was delusional. You stay true." It's going to look quite like it's a shift, basically. And regardless of your zodiac sign, this is what it's going to be about. Basically, everyone over the past half decade who has been ridiculed, who has been unfairly, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, canceled or whatnot, they're going to be glorified. And it's not off of some magic. It's because they maintained a certain perspective that after the disillusionment, people are going to change the way they look at it. And they're going to be like, okay, so in this era, you are seen as crazy. In this era, you're getting everything you wanted and more. And I have to have you understand it's because you maintained integrity. So people who maintained integrity of giving into the illusion, virtue signaling, they got their victory now. They were the fake influencer. They said what everyone needs to hear. They sold the dream. But now once that dream finishes and Saturn comes through and forces integrity, now they're going to be known as the one, "Oh, you told us to get vaccinated. You said that I was supposed to get this for you." Do you see where I'm going at with this? Do you see where I'm going at with this? Right now, the fog is still there. And we're going to know who's who. We're going to know who's who. Oh, Uranus and Gem is going to be it. It's going to be fire. It's going to still just be the beginning of something new, but it's going to be fire. Integrity Farms. Integrity. So this is where you want to maintain integrity through this final stretch. All right. Gemini rising, especially, Saturn is completing your 10th house. And whenever you look at planets going through your 10th, 11th, and 12th, which is Saturn, Chiron, and Jupiter, respectively, it's not that it's just going through your 12th. It's that with Jupiter and Saturn, they started in your first. So Jupiter started its cycle in 2012, and Saturn started its cycle through your first in like 2001, 2002. So Saturn is bringing a completion of the development of your character and your karmic journey since 2001. That's crazy. Some of you were born after 2001. Some of you were born with Saturn in Gemini. So if you were born with Saturn in Gemini in the 2000s, you are just barely completing. That's crazy. The karma that you came here to return. Like once you step into your Saturn return, you inherit this vocifery, this law of the word. Gemini rising, Saturn went through your first house, 2001. You're completing that. And that's so very important because from 2017, Saturn Sagittarius to now is completing the harvest of how you apply this integrity to show people the meaning, which is why, you know, you had to deal with those trials, and to now come into this authority. Saturn going through Pisces is making you an authority figure. This is going to establish legendary status for you. The Saturn integrity check is the fraud check. Everyone is going to go through the fraud check. For you, Gemini, because this is your 10th house of reputation, you failing the fraud check will negatively impact your reputation, because now people are going to believe you to be the person who said all this delusional shit and none of it was really real. If you pass the fraud check, then this is going to establish legendary status, because you are saying a lot of things that people felt you were delusional for, but it was all really based in reality. Everyone is going through this check. The way you pass or fail depends on your integrity. I'm not talking about people who project on you and feel like you're a fraud because the way you practice your faith goes against how they feel your faith is supposed. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you and God. How much have you really been in integrity? Because now the effect of this is going to be shown towards how you express your career success, how you handle success, how you are trusted in positions of power. Are you going to abuse it, or are you going to achieve legendary status? By the time we finish in 2025, 2026, this is where you move forward with this people who've seen you establish this. Okay. And congratulations, because since 2012, Gemini, I think many of you may have felt like your dream and what you want to achieve may not necessarily be possible, especially, having Taurus and Taurus rising and Gemini rising go through this, because those are the only two zodiac signs that have their MC in, of course, Aquarius and Pisces. Gemini does as well, and can't I think, Gemini could also have like the Pisces one, but give or take that range, Cancer can also have a Pisces MC. So basically, for those of you who have Pisces MC and Aqua MC, society, your reputation is going to be that of delusional. Before you achieve innovation, genius status, all of these people are in some sense seen as crazy. For example, Michael Jordan is a Pisces MC. LeBron James is a Pisces MC. In their case, I don't think any of them were ever seen as crazy to believe they could be the greatest basketball player, because from the beginning, people kind of believed it. But it's something to keep in mind. Before they establish that legend, it's going to look delusional. It's going to look delusional to kind of really, you know what I'm saying? Aries has a facet of this in the sense where it's like you achieve this success by yourself. And so people can feel like, oh, you can't do that. But you did. Okay. So, a lot of this is finally you coming into this milestone victory. You want to see this as personally the final stretch of the journey. The final stretch of the journey. Okay. Yeah, I already did Libra. I skipped Libra and did Aquarius, and now I'm doing Gemini again. But you'll see. Just go back. You'll see Libra. But other than that, you feel me? Like this is very, very amazing, because elements of what you have been wanting to accomplish may have seemed illusory, almost may have seemed like a dream, and you're going to be realizing that it's been being made real behind the scenes and in front of your face this entire time. All Saturn wants to do squaring your Gemini energy is to make sure that the original convictions you've had in doing what you do, you still feel, even though the direction may have changed, just to maintain integrity, so that now that you have the success, you don't just become a fraud. You actually practice what you preach. Pluto in your ninth house is getting ready to reawaken the celestial knowledge of you being an angel. So basically, since 2008, you've been awakening the physical mechanics in your body. And now that it is in your ninth house, over the next 20 years, this is going to now have you channel the truth of your angelic nature. Just because you have Gemini in your chart, it doesn't make you an angel, but it means you tap into an angelic nature, whether you have an angel soul as a Gemini moon, an angel spirit as a Gemini sun, or you quite literally embody truth as a Gemini rising. Sponsored by Archangel Michael, because Aldebaran is in Gemini. So this gives every Gemini connection that direct connection to many of the angels. But I just want to really speak on that, because now that Pluto is in Aquarius, I want you guys to confirm to me in the comments if maybe you were overcoming human conditioning and doubting your abilities. Now you know you're an angel. Now you actually know the experiences that confirm your angelic nature, which has progressed. And I need you to understand that, shout out to Lem the Gem. I need you to understand that now your initial understanding and knowledge of this is still just the beginning. And by the time we get to the end of this Pluto transit, you know, because by the way, Dragon Ball Super, every angel knows Ultra Instinct. So like, you're also going to be able to show. And this is going to awaken the transformation of your physicality, 8th house Capricorn. All right. Other than that, Aquarius season is now the beginning of preparing to show you this celestial knowledge, and it's going to awaken a true philosophy. All right. Relative to how you will look at other angels and Gemini energies with more recognition. You feel me? And this is going to teach you how to harness your angelic abilities. Okay. A lot of this clairvoyance and clairaudience is evolving into hardcore claircognizance. All right. And it's going to help you integrate how to really make sense of that and get used to that. All right. So what's going to happen is, by the time we get into August, everything that you are being taught by your higher angelic self, or just the higher self being your higher mind, your own higher mind, which we'll call your higher self, is what in 6 months from now, in August, while Jupiter is in your sign, you are going to be performing on stage together. So picture yourself 6 months from now. You are reawakening to the fact that you are more than just an angel. And now 6 months from now, you're showing people these abilities. Like, wow, I was practicing doing this the past 4 years. Now it's beginning to be automatic. And in 5 years, the quality of its automatic will be a lot more strengthened and powerful. So, yeah, this is, thank you, Annie. So very important. A lot of that going through the 8th house with Pluto and Cap and dealing with other people and drawing boundaries was dealing with gaslighting and manipulation from, influences that seek to, with the Neptune square, undermine the celestial quality of your being, because angels only exist in fantasy narratives. So that already makes Pisces fantasy, Gemini science fiction, Sagittarius somewhat in between the both. So, a magical centaur beast. So like, it, at least as far as representation. So this Aquarius season is quite literally an introduction. 2025 is going to be the hardcore introduction. 2025 is beginning to teach you this, but on the field, versus 2024, where you still might be on the field, but you're coming into an introduction to see one world end. As you step into this next world, you'll get a hardcore introduction into. And this entire Aquarius season is going to just increase the quality of your crown chakra knowledge. Just like Dreaming with Tess said, this energy is so exciting because a lot of this is confirming a lot of what, in fact, comment exclamation mark, regardless of sign, but especially Gemini, if you feel this, it's like you've been feeling something that was so true, but you didn't see it. And now this Aquarius season, it's clear. It's starting to be stupid fucking clear. And it's starting to highlight the influences that try to lie to you. Like, imagine if you see something that no one else sees, and then like you feel it though. You see synchronicities, but now you see it. Now it's clicking. Now you can repeat it. There's a comfort into it. So imagine all the people who told you while it wasn't crystal clear that it wasn't real. How does that, how do you look at that person now? Because now you are seeing what they told you. Oh, you're delusional. That's not real. You feel me? Like, this is very versus the people who nudged and guided you towards seeing it clearly. You know what I mean? So, yes. So let's use that archetype. I'm going to speak on this for the Aquarius reading. Let's say that Pluto Aquarius is an Aquarius knowing everything, like they fully awaken. The beginning of Pluto 0 degrees Aquarius is them awakening that ability to know everything that they did their whole lives, but they clicked, versus 29 degrees Pluto Aquarius 22 years from now, where it's like, oh, I've been knowing everything for 22 years. The way you start versus the way you end is going to be different. So this is where every zodiac sign is going to have, or representative is going to have their own relationship with that concept. Gemini, for you, it's going to take everything that you have kind of believe. Like, Gemini, imagine everything over the past decade that spirit has taught you, has kind of shown you, hey, this is what religion says about this. This is what science says about this. And you've been realizing how, okay, this aligns with the truth that I was born with. Now, Pluto and Aquarius is like, all right, throw that in the trash. This is what God says about this. It's like literally unveiling a celestial layer to where you now come into the true knowledge. And it is quite literally revolutionizing and innovating a whole lot of everything that you believed in. But with the square to Uranus in the 12th, is inducing a radical evolution of your spirituality and the physical values that constitute your unconscious habits and beliefs, to take these castles in the sky and manifest for real. In other words, the square to your 12th house is going to trigger sudden awakening through this ability to harness this knowledge. And once we get into May and June, that 4-month transit from now is just going to intensify and strengthen before click, blah. And then we step into it. All right, the unveiling. So Gemini, congratulations. This is definitely going to prepare you for Pisces season, because Pisces season is going to be your 10th house and you begin to dream the great dream. And this is going to be you for the first time in over 30 years, seeing elements of your milestone victory come to play. You just have to finish it out over the next cycle. So if we take that concept of the milestone victory and success for Libra, this is your lifestyle. And it's getting ready to connect. Unlike Gemini, who 2025 is going to have that final trine of Jupiter in Cancer in their second house to Neptune and Saturn in the North Node in their 10th. That's going to open up a new world of liquidity for them, the success they come through. For you, Libra, Jupiter is going to be in your 10th house of Cancer, and you're going to have the 6th house unlocking revolution that the North Node in your 7th is preparing for. Because by the time Saturn finishes out with Neptune in your 6th, and I don't know if you guys know this about Libra, but like, they could literally now more than ever imagine how they want their day to go. Like, if you don't believe this, go watch Rita Kaminsky. She's the law of assumption coach. She's a Libra. And there's a reason why her shit hits more powerfully, because it's a more powerful sign. I mean, it's a more powerful power. I'm not trying to kind of say, oh, she's this powerful because of this sign. No, she just knows how to use it, right? So what's happening with the Libra archetype is they can imagine their day and the shit is going to happen, period. There is a construction process to align with subconscious facets of their behaviors, so that by the time this finishes in 2025, 2026, it's not like the beginning where Libras are like, oh, wow, I just thought about this today. It really happened. And they're not even like that. They know what's up. These motherfuckers are nice. So they were like, all right, this thing you're going to call me and it's happening, bro. So versus the end where now it's automatic. They've mastered this. And why do they need to master it? Because they're going to take it to the seventh house where now they're going to have to deal with the whole world coming at them. So they're going to need these abilities because that's what they're going to need to protect themselves. All right. And Libra, if you think I'm lying, look at Virgo, look at Leo, look at Virgo. You're next, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You got the South Node in your sign right now. You're unlocking your classic character. The South Node Libra, I'm going to use every 20 years, the North Node returns to the sign it was in. And every 10 years, the North Node opposes the South Node. So that means 10 years ago, the North Node was in Libra, right? And 10 years before that, right? So here's a really good way to look at South Node Libra. All right. South Node Libra, we'll use the analogy of heroes and villains. All right. The mission that you started North Node Libra is complete. So let's use the whole notion of heroes and villains. Aries is the classic heel. Sorry, Aries is the original heel. Libra is the classic hero or the classic face. If Leo was like the lead face, you have the supporting face, the classic face, that's Libra, right? So when you read a comic or when you watch, like, say, WWE, what happens? The villain doesn't always stay the villain, and the hero doesn't always stay the hero. What happens is life happens, and we start to see changes in the motivations of certain characters. Sometimes the hero turns heel and enters a villain arc. Sometimes the heel decides to turn face and be good. But usually what occurs is that the status quo gets reset and that hero comes back to being a hero and the villain reestablishes. This happens whether during reboots, this happens whether during this is just convenient. So this South Node Libra is resetting the nature of your character. Libra is actually the one facilitating this. And I want you to kind of like confirm that for me. Libras, you might feel like you're going through your villain era, but whether you're going through an era or not, what this is going to feel like is that the classic core of your character is being reset, almost as if society is getting reboot. And so you have to establish exactly like Will Smith, exactly what he, you know, people might have been pushed to see as the image versus the person behind the image, which, I mean, personally, I'm nothing against Will Smith. I feel like a lot of that is just the internet being the internet and demonizing people. But like, not to say that these people are perfect. Obviously, these people are human beings. But you know what I mean? Like, this is really important because now the North Node in Aries is resetting this karmic cycle, this destiny cycle, and with Saturn as well. And this is what is putting you in a position to now step into this next era, but with the return of how it is you reestablish this next cycle, which for a lot of you could feel like starting from scratch. Hardcore reset. This hardcore reset for Libra is also the Pluto square in Capricorn. So for those of you born at the end of Libra, you're coming into that final square. You're never going to have to go through that. And one thing to think about for the square, just like Gemini had to go through the Neptune square, where everything that was as that archetype seen as frustrating will now turn into their strength because they maintained integrity. Well, for Libra, that square since 2008 was the most extreme difficulty towards maintaining integrity, whether due to extreme temptation or criticism from people most private to you. And Libra, I would like for you to confirm this. Please comment a 7 if that 2008 transit with Pluto to your Libra placements forced almost this outside influence of an extreme distaste of those who do not have integrity and why it doesn't mix with your balance, or this inhibition where you don't feel like you can really be comfortable in your own home. Like that, it's not necessarily as simple as that, but the purpose of this is reawakening this depth of organization and control within yourself. And Pluto is like taking a jackhammer and exploding your home, creating controversy within your family that implodes this sense of comfort, so that if maybe your sense of comfort was like a small box, now your capacity for depth is like a never-ending sinkhole. And this could, of course, been like through betrayals. Let's be honest, Libra, the fourth house is a family. So I want to be kind of clear. Is it people personal to you? Because this could have really kind of felt like throughout 2008, specifically people personal to you, people in your family may have tried to kill you, extort you, exploit you. It doesn't have to be that bad. This could have just been a disillusionment around how, even if your family is perfect to you, because I mean, not everyone's family is evil, this really just kind of increased the level of intimacy you may have had with your family. And maybe this might have had to go through a temporary period of fighting before you get it, or some of you never made up. I just kind of want to highlight that, because everything that now established itself as this difficulty is now going to be your strength. Now that you have finished this, Pluto in your fifth house has deepened this well of comfort, and the fifth house is now creativity. So it's like, because you have broken open your inner world, now when it comes to expressing your fifth house, you are now going to be extremely so much more talented, because the exact same thing that you did that created this feeling of inhibition because it made people uncomfortable is going to be the same thing that's going to bring you so much success and strength. It's almost as if that Libra square was you maintaining integrity and getting hurt for it. It's like, psh, like the Pluto stinger. Psh. And the Pluto square was an extreme force through manipulation that was geared towards you corrupting yourself. This is why certain Libras got corrupted, because Libra is the number 1, 2, and 3 sign that dark forces have to corrupt. That's the one who's going to get bribed. It's not easy to be a Libra because y'all are ruled by the goddess of beauty. So, I mean, unlike most people who get into a relationship, Libras are going to have so much more opportunities to cheat. Sagittariuses and Capricorns are going to have so much more opportunities to cheat. Libra is literally the artist on tour. You guys are ruled by beauty. Everyone fucking loves you. So, like, to meet a Libra who is in integrity is very rare. It's very easy for people to look at Libra like, oh, you're heartless, but you don't understand the pressure that they go through. Most people do not go through temptation like Libra or Sagittarius. It's easy to say that you're faithful because you're a little bit ugly and nobody is trying to cheat with you. I'm sorry. It's another thing if you're a Libra and like 10 very powerful people are tempting you with legit opportunities, and yet you still maintain that integrity. That's why some Libras are professional cheaters. They can't handle the pressure they give in the temptation. But the Libras who have integrity are superheroes. That's why Libra is the superhero. They maintain justice and balance. That's Leo and Libra. The Leos and Libras that don't give into the Leo that's not a narcissist with a personality disorder, and the Libra that's not a fake cheating fuck. They're heroes. That's why Capricorn is the great integrity. When they are not corrupt, that is at the God level. That's why the higher the zodiac sign, the harder it is to maintain that. Like Aries has character flaws, but they're very basic. Aries is really just either angry or selfish. But outside of that, they're genuinely good people unless they are corrupted. Once you get to the higher sign, it's a higher power, which means new levels, new devils. Like it's incredibly difficult to be a Scorpio. That is one of the hardest zodiac signs to completely actually express. Like you are channeling such, and Libra's progressing to Scorpio. You have so much sexual energy and you can control minds. So it's like, how do I use these powers? That's why Scorpio is purity. If Scorpio is impure, then they become pure evil. So like it's a whole different ballgame. And this is where the South Node is through the resetting of your character, resetting everyone else's character. That's how powerful Libra is. People sleep on how powerful Libra is because they're really good at hiding their power. It's not Aries. That's a more egoic vibration. Libra is really good at making other people look good and powerful when these motherfuckers are superheroes. Like they have literally superpowers. But my bad, that's still understatement. I'm not trying to like suck y'all dicks. This is very important. I'm not trying to like flatter y'all. Like this, I just need to really talk about this because now when you work on the fourth house, the fourth house is a place of comfort, and your fifth house is your talent. So if you were not comfortable, right, and then I ask you to record a song, that's going to impede in your progress of making that song because you're not right within your soul. But if you are in a comfortable place where you feel where you can actually be happy, and then I tell you to make a song, you're going to be able to put your heart in that. So that was what Pluto through 2008 was facilitating for you. It was the 90-degree integration of preparing you at a supernatural quality to express your talent. I think we can all agree. Usher, even Doja Cat, Bruno Mars, Lil Wayne, Eminem, every Libra you have ever seen express talent, they have supernatural talent. First of all, every Libra has the sauce. I'm gonna have to snitch Libra. I'm sorry. Libra, because Libras know how to, they got the 12th house Virgo, so they know how to kind of like play it cool. Libras got the sauce, and their talent is supernatural. It's called fifth house Aquarius. There's no, that's why they're the artist. So they have third house Sagittarius. They can show you their vision through art, and then their talent is supernatural. So they're ruled by the goddess of beauty, and their superpower is to charm you. They are the activist. This is a superpower of persuasion that can quite literally rally people to their side because they represent justice. Talib Kweli, a Libra, told you that justice is what love looks like in public. What's the public? 11th house. What's Libra's 11th house? Leo, love, crazy, courage. So I know it kind of looks mentalist as fuck, but like what I kind of want to establish is this new frontier. I didn't know Bernie Mac was Libra, or was born in Libra. Yeah, they're lords of war. A lot. What people don't understand about Libra is they're literally chaos angels. Like especially the sons. Like they're literally fallen angel spirits. And when I say that, not every Libra sun is an evil fallen spirit like that. But like Libra is intelligence. So like these motherfuckers know how to create beef and then squash the beef. Like this is Libra's classic move. Two people are fighting, and then Libra comes into the room, and there's literally like sunlight behind the Libra, and then they come through, and then they squash the beef. And then people look at Libra like, Libra, you're such a peacemaker. But Libra, you instigated the beef. You instigated the beef. You like Aries is looking at Libra like this is literally Courtney looking at Kim like, but are you mother? They started the beef though. Why are you praising Libra like they squashed the beef? They literally secretly started and that is a skill, and that is a finesse, and that is an art. You look at Aries as the warrior, and Mars is the god of war. Well, where is Aries according to Libra? The seventh house. This is what makes me think Libra is the lord of war. Even though Mars and Aries is the gods of war, Aries is more the warrior. Libra is more the liaison. Like, they're the ones that are going to hit you with the negotiation. They're the ones that are going to hit you with the peace treaty. That's really more like you're going to do this, or we're going to bomb the shit out of you. Like, that's really copper. Like, Libra is literally the whole science of 180 degrees. If Aries is the individual, Libra are more than one person coming together to make an agreement. That is why it is the sign and house of partnerships, contracts, and agreements. What Libra scientifically means is you and me. I am an individual with my Gemini thoughts, Cancer feelings. You're an individual with your Virgo behavior, Leo talents, Gemini thoughts. So how do I take my identity and your identity, and how do we create an agreement? This is what I agree on. This is what you agree on. This is what we compromise. Boom, handshake. Now we're a partnership. Scorpio is now the results of that partnership, shared resources. If Taurus is my own second house resources, how do I trust somebody else to share those resources, amongst other things? So this fifth house Pluto is the reawakening of the supernatural talent that all Libra suns and risings possess. And that fourth house chapter redefined what family means to you, whether through engaging in non-traditional relationship constructs or being in a position to awaken a home that you can feel not just comfortable in because you broke through old comfort zones, but you can actually establish this greatness. Libra's home is greatness. If Sagittarius's home is a dream and Scorpio's home is out of this world, Libra's home is greatness. This is why in public they're going to be very sincere and cool, but in the crib they become Capricorn. These are some inherently manipulative and controlling people, but manipulative not necessarily meaning bad unless you're dealing with the evil Libra. This is more a hidden sense of a need for control. And if as balance, they do not have order, fourth house Capricorn means they require order in the home. And order doesn't necessarily always mean tidiness. They just need that level of integrity. And so Pluto was kind of, exposing where there's, if anything, a lack of order. You feel me? And now that you've established this order, okay, this is now putting you in a position to awaken this supernatural talent. And now Aquarius season is not only you establishing the supernatural talent. If we know that you got the sauce, right? You have wisdom. Scorpio's is the sauce. Libra has Scorpio in the second house. Second house is what you have. It's your quality of self-esteem. So you have purity, Libra. Of course, justice is going to have purity to be established on order. All right. And this is where, because you have wisdom, the eighth house Taurus is you investing that wealth towards others who can hold your wisdom. It's kind of like investing in the stock exchange. You're using your wisdom in order to allocate your money and let it grow for you. But the reason why I want to talk about the science of the second, fifth, and eighth house is the second and fifth house is the relationship between your confidence and your ability to express that confidence. If you know you got the sauce and you literally own your wisdom, the stronger your second house is, the more confidence you'll have to fifth house express that talent on the stage. The less your second house is confident, it doesn't allow you to step into your fifth, right? So your eighth house is now trust in others. What others invest in you and what you have of your own that you invest in others. And the 11th house is going to be the audience you perform to as a talent in the fifth. So when we deal with fifth and eighth house talents, how is it that you use your supernatural talents to deal with others? Conflicts and trust issues that arise between the fifth and eighth house happen when we trust people with facets of our talents that they may either steal or completely undermine, whether due to jealousy or you just not once again establishing proper boundaries. Fifth house is also a house of self-employment. So it is the integration of your talents and service towards how much greater intimacy you build in the right people because of how talented you are. So this Aquarius season is going to integrate what you activated Scorpio season. You manifested this sauce, and now you are integrating this sauce to reawaken in Aquarius supernatural talent. Because Uranus and Jupiter is in your eighth, this is going to manifest so much desire and interest in what you have at an exponential quality, especially for those of you who have portfolios or investments. From February to May, you're going to see a gradual exponential increase until we get to the eighth house that will initiate a 6-month return of investments from May to November. And May and November of course, 2024 is going to bring Jupiter through your ninth and subsequently 10th house. So just like Virgo's career is blowing up this year, your career is blowing up next year. And that's what brings me to the main core of what Aquarius season is going to set you up for, okay? Libra is reality warping through the belief in their own imagination, their routine and lifestyle. This, I'm showing you, welcome, Val, to the Eternal Vibe Tribe. Everything that I'm telling you is at the basic level. So when I say that you're using your imagination to warp your reality and lifestyle, that is at the basic level of what you're doing. You're taking the concept and you're taking it to even more advanced applications, but just in a very basic way. This is enabling you, of course, as the integration of Pisces in your sixth house. Saturn is crystallizing the integrity of those beliefs now that it finished through your fifth, that you're very clear on what it is you want, so that subconsciously your beliefs around how you should live your life are materializing. Okay, very, very, very important. So relative to this, okay, what's going to happen is every mutable sign season is adjusting the causality. Basically, once you get to 2026, you're going to imagine how you want to live your life. And listen, it magically happens. It magically happens. Like, I want you to hold me to this. There is a supernatural quality of how instantly you magically create a routine that you want to live and can adjust, right? So every 3 months, every March, June, September, and December of 2024 and 2025 is going to adjust how what you imagine aligns more with the causality of what happens. Every Virgo season is going to be the completion of, okay, Virgo is giving me the analytical awareness, so I imagined it, and this happens. And it's going to let you know how to adjust. For those of you that had just started, this is important because it's going to officially kick in with the Cazimi in your sixth house, the Sun-Saturn conjunction in your sixth. You have not had this for over 30 years. Some of you are not even 30. So this is what's going to completely, basically up until this point, if you've already started to see this happen and whatnot, once we step into the Cazimi next month, you're doing it at will. This is going to be the first time you're doing it at will, and it's going to perfect until it's there. All right. It's nothing you're not already good at doing, but this is going to really take this there. And so, in preparation for this hardcore integration, Aquarius is going to remind you as you reawaken what you love of how you express these talents. Because what are you going to use to create this lifestyle? Your talents. So you're awakening this creativity, and then you're going to apply this creativity to how you want to imagine your dream life. This is the dream life protocol. Even better if you're already living your dream life. This is just going to make it more dreamy. No, this is going to really flesh out how much more depth you bring and layers you bring to this integration of said dream life, which is beautiful. Because once Jupiter begins to trine this in the 10th, you are leveling up the success of your career and evolution that you started since 2017. Let's go. And the integration of this dream life is to bring it into your 7th house of relationships so that you can apply this dream life to live with the people who you want to. And now you've mastered this technique. We also wanted to take into account how January to May of 2025 evolved what more you can accomplish with people. And the North Node is having you move into that destined direction. It is resetting the classic archetype of your character so that you can hold space for people to snitch on themselves, to move forward authentically towards you as they reveal their character. And not even know that you see completely through them. But it's cool. And this is beautiful because everything that you're meant to do, you're going to be meant to do. So now that you are reawakening your talents, the sextile to your 7th house is aligning with people who also are interested in what you're good at doing, like what you're doing. That's going to give you a sneak peek of who you're going to move forward with. This Kazemi with Saturn is going to be at the end of February. Yep, it's going to be like February 20 something and coming into March with Neptune. So that's what's going to officially kick it in. And this is where Aquarius is reawakening your supernatural talent so that you update how specifically it is you want to. It's almost as if you learned this technique with a weight jacket under extraordinary circumstances that constrained you, and you were doing everything you were doing with so much stress. Now that stress is gone, the weight jacket is gone. You move so much quicker. So it's like now that under those stressful circumstances, you learned how it works and you learned what to do. How much more free are you now that you are applying this without those circumstances? That's what it's going to feel like from Pluto squaring you to now trining you. All right. Beautiful, by the way. And finally, we have the Celestials. And shout out to Buddha AQ. That's really, I would say, thank you, Jensen. Much appreciated. That's really what I would say is really the best part of, I think, a really good way to see Pluto and Aquarius. To be an Aquarius with Pluto and Aquarius is almost like your whole life before this point, you were born with the ability to just tap into the true knowledge of everything. And your connection to this source was like a radio station that was a bit fuzzy. Maybe some of you had a clear connection, right? But I want you to comment an 11 if you have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising energy. And pre-2023, it was kind of like you were getting the information versus now it's clear. And it's like clear. And instead of having to go through each station, now all the stations are like, oh, I know now. And the reason why I want to say it like this is there was never a time when y'all didn't really know anything. But I feel like because you are not in your element, like that's one thing Earth signs had to kind of remember. We're in an Earth dimension. So like we think like air energies, but the Earth slows things down. So I feel like Aquarians were pained by not only the time lag between them being in heaven, but still having to be in time physically, but also the frequency wars. A lot of people don't know that the frequency of Aquarius is like having a spiritual aura that's a bit taller than other people, let's just say, right? And if their aura is collective, if I were to design a frequency weapon that no one else can see, but it affects people whose aura spreads that wide, then I can influence the mental state of that collective frequency, and they will be telling people, because Aqua knows. So Aqua's going to know, oh, someone's hitting me with a frequency, and people will say that they're crazy when they're actually telling you about the frequency war that's happening to them. So they literally feel like an alien that may not necessarily be able to explain to people who don't have that awareness to even conceptualize it. All right. Thank you, Green Clean. So if we take this dynamic, what if you're able to fight back? I'm just joking. So, yeah. Now, this is kind of dangerous because Pluto Aquarius reawakens a revolutionary element that at its extreme can look like a bunch of people fed up with celebrity culture going to concerts and just shooting the venue up. Like the whole notion of school shootings, mass shootings, terrorist attacks, everything you've seen over the past 13 years is going to exponentially multiply, because this is the culmination of pressure that collectively has built and has been swept under the rug. So I have to make sure we're clear. This is a range of stuff. Pluto in Aquarius is awakening inspirational knowledge as much as it is a very vile, disgusting mob of people forcefully trying to, through anarchy, get their way of justice. It's not really just a good or a bad thing. And this is where, of course, the Aquarians that are going through this, especially the ones who commented 11, y'all capacity for knowing isn't like in the 12th. Like Pluto in the 12th since 2008 forced you to doubt your potential because of how mercilessly gaslighted you were becoming or getting. It's like unconscious habits that are holding you back because you're not aware or really able to really see how elements of the entire collective have been sealing you. So, great question. Would this apply to Sun in the 11th? The 11th house is not Aquarius. So, the Sun in the 11th is really just going to give you the awareness of where friends belong, but it's still the Gemini sign. So it's not going to bring the Aquarius energy, but if you did resonate with it, that still wouldn't necessarily be surprising. And let me know. But yeah, that was a really good question, because signs versus houses are distinctly different. But some people do resonate. Relly, thank you for the gift. What's really key here is that IC does represent the inner IC represents the soul, and the fifth house represents the inner child. But since the fifth house is next to the IC, it really does. And then the MC is your reputation and your higher self. It is the way you kind of represent your super ego, and can put yourself out there. But yeah, so this may have brought, I think certain Aquarians may have had to deal with the whole notion of and welcome to the Eternal Vibe Tribe. Some Aquarians may have had to deal with the notion of being spied on by the government. But in a lot of ways, Aquarius and Pisces are going through this whole Truman Show arc where you're able to tap for Aquarius, you're able to tap into the collective connection of the world that feels like a director is influencing the actions of other people to time perfectly to either align or get in your way. Of course, there's pronoia, so everything works in your favor. But then Pisces is experiencing the same thing, but Pisces sees that this directing is beyond just the person being controlled. So it's like I feel like Aquarius and Pisces are looking at this like dominions outside the veil, where y'all are able to see that the individuals you deal with are really just like NPCs or agents being influenced by a collective director versus actually getting angry at the individuals because you know it exists beyond them in a way. And now what happens when you now reawaken your ability to conclude? Because if you think about this, many of you were born before Pluto ever entered Aquarius. Like there's no one on this planet who has Pluto in Aquarius. So a lot of this is the conclusion of that old age. And a lot of what you are going to reawaken through the Aquarius channel, no one else on the planet, that's a very wise idea. No one else on the planet is going to be awakening. That's why I was telling people, hey, if they can find an Aquarius, if they can link up with you, they should really do whatever it is, because what you represent as a humanitarian is the celestial connect of knowledge that basically beta tests in Aries, and then you put the rest of the world on. Like everything we experience are really just Aquarius's innovations. So you guys are going to be awakening spirit, the next level of spiritual gifts, ideology, and thought process as the voices of the generation. Like I consider Aquarius the voice of the generation. This is Oprah's ability to captivate so many people. This is from Tanasha to J. Cole to Kid Cudi, you know what I mean? Like from Ellen DeGeneres, whether these people are villains or not, whether you like these people or not, they are the voice of a generation. Like they still cap that. That's because they're collective. These are the geniuses. If Pisces is the legend and Cap is the GOAT, well, Aquarius is the genius. They're not really the GOAT, but they become legends. They're not really the GOAT because they're kind of outside the realm of being the greatest. You're kind of out. It would be going backwards to compete at this point. I swear I'm not giving you the glizzy. I'm just really trying to like put this into perspective. A lot of this sounds like I'll be trying to flatter y'all, and I swear to God I'm not. Like no, it's not that deep. I just really like, and when I say y'all, I mean just like in general when I just talk about these things. Y'all are just really like, y'all are literally supernatural, and that's an understatement. So I had to learn this. I'm kind of mad I didn't just was born knowing this, so I kind of feel betrayed. Like really, like y'all knew all this shit the whole time. But it's cool. It's cool. I probably had to happen this way, right? But like there is an uncanny sense of just being a fish in water where the fish does not know they're swimming. So there's a certain unconscious sense of your power that you may not necessarily have realized was a thing because you experienced it your whole life. So you never understood why people will react to you the way they do. You're like, what's wrong with these mortals? Have they never seen a shape-shifting fairy before? No, Aquarius! And you know that. That's why you're the trickster. Like you're trying to act like we don't know. You and Pisces. I'm sorry. So this is reawakening you to all the celestial quality of your extraordinary strength of mind. And Venus and Mercury and Mars reconstituting the direction you begin to activate that into is going to prepare for your Pisces arc. If Libra's Pisces arc is creating the dream life and Gemini's Pisces arc is coming into milestone victory and success, Aquarius, your Pisces arc is applying this reawakening of supernatural abilities. And when I tell you, you are pulling things out of dream space and thin air, you are pulling things out of dream space and thin air. I know that because you're already doing that. So this is just going to add more sauce to how you're doing that. Once we have that Kazemi with the sun, so if you're like a Libra rising and you are integrating your dream life through this mechanism of manifestation, by the time we come into 2025 and 2026, Aquarius is imagining a $10,000 stack, and it is quite literally material, like a hand is coming out of thin air and putting it there. And the really weird thing is this isn't even new to them. So like before this, they were imagining the $10,000 stack, but maybe it would come through more real means. Like maybe they would get paid $10,000, or maybe they would meet someone who introduced them to a job. Now it's just pure magic. And I don't necessarily want to sell the fact that it wasn't pure magic before, but this is just kind of setting you into that exactly Ace of Pentacles staple that personally pushes that boundary. So this is what I mean, where over the next 2 years, you are quite literally changing your belief of your self-esteem, because once you have the ability to at such much more of a level manifest from out of your imagination, what can anyone pay you? Your prices are going to be wild crazy. And this is why Aquarius could be the humanitarian, because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not really you're going to need even less people. It's just going to be like, what? You want to pay me this? I can imagine this and make it happen. Like, this is something that everyone is able to do, but at the Aquarius celestial level, that's really what the whole Saturn in the second is. Like, how do you create and manifest the world of your dreams? Because now you got it like that. And that's the integrity lesson throughout the second before this becomes your attitude moving forward. So very amazing stuff. The square with Uranus and Taurus is landing your spaceship and taking the extraordinary supernatural quality on your value and innovating how it is you make it real, like AI, like all these technological advancements. But let's say you are this technology. What solid values have you been able to innovate relative to old traditional structures? That, I mean, I'm just going to stop sugarcoating this. I've been sugarcoating. Look at this revolution. So you're basically just going to expose false structures. And whereas before you were undercover because you didn't want to get killed by the government, now your secret plan to rally up all people have prepared you for your end game. And whether you're building bunkers or you're getting ready to, release another project that captivates the minds of literally thousands, it's time for you to enact the revolution. And 2024 is going to literally be the year where you beta test and soft launch how you want it to look like. And then 2025 is when you actually make the move. So there's that. And relative to that, for example, like, certain people are looking at maybe books you've read and they're like, wow, okay, she's an author. She writes books. And like Pam Grout changed my life, y'all. Reading Pam Grout's E Squared changed. I'm just going to put that out there. She did not tell me anything that was literally original to her. It's not like I didn't hear it before, but that book did it for me. That's all I'm about to say. So like, people are looking at you as an Aquarius like, oh wow, she's a book writer, she's written some books, that's cool. They don't know that your books are agents and they are awakening the people who are reading it, and those people are ripple effects, literally taking your conscious word with a mind and magic of its own and literally creating a collective domino effect, whether through your albums, whether through your books. And now all that work is ready to awaken and you can command and lead and all that. So, I mean, this is also awakening more of your self-narrative ability. So I don't know if you guys know, but Aquarians do some of the most terrifying shit. Libra will have a music video, but that's more artsy. They're the artsy fartsy people. Aquarius is terrifying, y'all. By the age of 13 to 16, they start self-narrating. The self-narrating Aquarius is more terrifying than the most terrifying and evil of gods, because now The Aquarius that begins self-narrating at 16 before they're old enough to even drink alcohol can literally just walk down the street and be like, so as I was walking down the street, this dumb bitch staring at me, looking like I'm weird, tripped over her feet and smashed her face on the ground. And of course, this dumb bitch on the opposite side is like, oh. And then Aquarius is like, I knew that would happen. Like y'all don't understand that these people can narrate. You don't know. They can do it on the fly. They can just write a book and the shit will happen in people's lives. They can like quite literally just decide, like it's a power. If Libra has a superpower, this is their nature. It's cool because they be narrating Pisces. Like for every Pisces, there's a hidden Aquarius narrating their existence. The Pisces didn't know, and then Pisces is gonna be like, what the fuck? Like if you watch Stranger Than Fiction, it's quite literally an Aquarius using their powers on a Gemini. Or if you think, whatever you want to put Will Ferrell as, Will Ferrell could be the Leo main character or the Libra. You know what I'm saying? So it's terrifying. I don't think anyone should be that supernatural. I've been snitching as of late since Pluto went to your sign. But like, imagine just awakening that in 17. I've never spoken to an Aquarius child that can't maintain a adult conversation. Like, that's weird. I'm sorry. Like, normally when you talk to kids, they say the darnest things. They talk like children. You feel me? I shouldn't be talking to an Aquarius kid. This motherfucker giving me advice on taxes. Like, that might not be the right. Like, hold on. How do you know this shit? How are you maintaining an adult conversation with me and looking at me like, I don't think I know as much. We're not doing this. Hold on. And these Aquarius kids will look at you like you dumb as hell too. Like, what? You don't know that? You didn't know that? First of all, motherfucker, I'm like 20 years older than you. Don't play with me like that. Don't talk to me like. And then you gotta hold yourself. No, it's cool. It's cool. My bad. But hey, they will look at you like there's no way you're this dumb. And it's like, I know you're not looking at me like, never mind. It's cool. Oh, I love that. So yeah, Aquarius, this is unlike a first house transit of any other proportion. I mean, Pluto was in your first house last year too, but I mean, it's not the same as 2024. We were still transitioning out of evolution cycles last year. This is it. All right. And this is going to open up post-May, the evolution of your creativity. It'd be nice to see what projects Aquarius has dropped by the summer of this year moving forward. They're all leveling up their talent. And, it puts you in a position to reevaluate your life's purpose and who you are in your life's purpose. Everything you establish now, by August, you're going to be performing to others to sponsor those relationships. So it's a lot to look forward to as you establish the attitude you're destined to. In reawakening this celestial quality, you are unlocking an original language, whether it's through grunts or just weird noises or telepathy. This is going to really reintroduce the force in your word. And it's going to be pretty raw. I mean, there's a lot of things you say and lingo you say that travels on later, but yeah. Oh, yeah. So there we know. I was thinking the other day of if I had a Mount Rushmore of Geminis, a Mount Rushmore of Gemini women and then a Mount Rushmore of Gemini men, Morgan Freeman would definitely be on the Gemini men Mount Rushmore. Geminis, who's on your Mount Rushmore? On my Gemini men Mount Rushmore, I have President Trump, Morgan Freeman, JFK, and Kanye West. That's my Mount. I was gonna put Prince, but I put JFK instead. That's my Mount Rushmore right there. And I'm thinking about the Gemini woman. I need to research for the Gemini woman. I feel like a lady has to come up with the lady list. But like, yeah, and then we need like the actual Mount Rushmore Gemini like unisex list. But like, it is what it is. Okay, see, people be hating on Azalea Banks, and Azalea Banks has said like some of the most vile shit, but she really be going off. Like, no one ever says that she lied. That's the only thing I'll say about Azalea Banks. Like, people don't like what she say, but no one has ever said she lied about what she said. I noticed that. Like, you can't say she a liar. That's all I'm about to say. Yeah, people will try to say she mentally ill, but like, eh, eh, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so Darrell, thank you. I got your chart. I'm gonna do this for you. And thank you, Giselle. Oh, snap. I forgot to do. Oh no, I didn't. So I got you on a tarot card. Let's go. So first we're gonna pull for Sage Page. Oh, shish kebab. Holy shish kebab. Yeah. I would not be surprised if some aqua was like, and as he dropped his cards, but see, it is what it is. Screws it. Oh, I appreciate you. That would be an honor. Be a huge honor. Um Word, I feel you. Okay. I think I didn't know Janelle has the Gemini moon. What's up? All right. So Sage Page, we have the lovers. This is the union of your mind and heart. And this is engaging creatively with everything around you. This is also really beautiful. It can open up being with your soulmate. So the opportunity and choice will be there. But I feel like this is really just creating this festive environment. So that's the underlying theme. And we have the Nine of Swords and the Fool. So this is literally you coming out of the dark night of the soul and hitting the reset button. And that's why I love that the lovers card is an underlying theme, because it's definitely ensuring not only a fresh theme to enjoy, but you have finished processing negativity and psychic attack from other people. And now this is having you not only transmute this to a blank slate, but this is, I think, representative of you kind of finishing. I feel like, though, with that dark night of the soul, it's not even you. I think you processed that collectively for other people and personalized it through whatever you went through. But yeah, I think that's a really good message. And this could also represent attracting someone who has gone through such a similar experience. Yay, yay. Ooh. Okie dokie. So next we have Heather. Heather, we know you were born 1 degree in Virgo, and you were blessed with Zeus and Saturn's power. So, oh my gosh, and like Cat Williams, you have your moon in Aquarius. So y'all represent celestial mastery. You have the original master, the Aries moon Virgo. You got the special master like Dave Chappelle, or the psychic master, the Cancer moon Virgo. You got the ascended master, the Sag moon Virgo. You got the pure master, like Beyonce, the Scorpio moon Virgo. But then you have the celestial master. The celestial master has a knowledgeable, almost supernatural, claircognizant understanding of how people behave without having to induce analysis of this. They could just automatically know someone's behavior and also know how to adapt and behave. So it is an elite mastery signature. And it's great to know that you quite literally evolve and liberate other people's lives, especially due to your critical perspectives. So they won't like it if they're dumb, though. If they're very stupid, they're gonna really think that you're just trying to like manipulate and control their life, but really be awakening people, putting people on. So you have Pluto and Mars in the 7th, and the square to Capricorn is completed. I think the major first thing we want to look at is Pluto that will be dangerously close to your moon. So Pluto is awakening your soul, Heather. And because it is also King Kunxing a lot of your Virgo sun, this is having you extremely hardcore integrate, especially through the season, the unlocking of your destiny, because we see your North Node is Leo, and who you're destined to really achieve this cycle of success with. All the work you've done with your 7th house in Libra to establish the unlocking of your personality has made way since October to, through who you can trust at the end of the year, establish who you know you're meant to be around. Because all this is going to come back around to October, where these people you establish, especially with the new moon and a new cycle of friends, establish and awaken this extremely. What we want to also keep in mind, though, is even though Aquarius is your 10th and 11th house, a lot of this knowledge of who belongs around you is also integrating relative to who you feel promotes better behavior within you. Because as a Virgo sun, Aquarius season is also going to awaken a much newer and advanced routine that you will begin to walk and will unfold for you relative to the past decade and the past few years. So, who in your social circle helps promote the reinforcement of these habits versus who doesn't? That's going to be a major facet. And then also, how are you? I think what's really more going to happen is how you are influencing other people's behaviors. And then we also have to keep in mind that Pluto or Jupiter has passed Pisces, is in your 2nd house of money to manifest and evolve the philosophy around how much more wealthy you are. But Saturn is getting ready to make a 180-degree angle and harvest the Saturn return you had 2008. So I'm mentioning this because we see you are coming into a definite completion here. You are getting ready to complete respective cycles, which brings an important element of harvest. And because you got that 3-degree moon in Aqua, you, unlike other Aqua moons, are going to come into this extreme awakening next year. So the rest of this year is going to give you a sneak peek, this Aqua, of what it begins to feel like. Aqua moons are feeling the knowledge of what's happening collectively. So the way Aqua moons are feeling this awakening is their uncanny intuitions about knowing what's going to happen to the humanity are being more confirmed than ever. Everything that they were deducing, and this is really not even, I mean, all Virgos are going through this, but the Aqua moons, regardless of sign, this is really, really, really going to deepen so much more extremely how clear and in tune it is. And yeah. So next, and thank you, Heather, once again. I hope you enjoy this season. It's gonna set up the eclipse for you in Aries. So congrats for the work you've done since May, if anything. Next we have oops, hold on. Oh, you know what? Okay. Mm. So Darrell, you sent me a SVG file. So please send me a screenshot of your chart. Or yeah, I'm not able to open the image, but for now, let me see. Oh, okay, no, that's just the date. So yeah, please send me another picture of your chart if you don't mind. And yeah. But other than that, Giselle, let me give you a tarot reading real quick. Appreciate you, 12 NCs. So, Giselle, we have the King of Cups. This is a very compassionate, influence, counselor, mature, divine masculine type being. This could represent emotional maturity within you, or, you know, at least just counseling ear. But that's a really important underlying theme. And the main card we have is the Emperor. So, the first person I thought of was your partner. And with the Emperor, I feel like this is you really reflecting one, the masculine element through you and just expressing your mastered emotions and the discipline. But I just kind of see this as this being very significant as far as achieving this, perhaps with your partner, with a father figure. But the Emperor is you moving forward very powerfully for sure. And I am glad we got the King of Cups as an underlying theme, because I think this maybe makes more you know, specific, if anything, the nature of what's being established. The main card we have for you, though, is the Emperor. So this is for sure establishing not only this authority, but I also feel like the way that you also will establish your reputation with your success and work is going to be that as an authority of not just logic, but like the psychological psychoanalysis, um, deeper reading of soul, if anything, um, which opens up a lot more possibilities as well. But yeah, and then also to be experienced through other people who have that archetype. So, but yeah, that really came up really powerfully too. Like the way with which you're coming off is not so much very masculine as much as just very authoritative, very powerful, but as much as authoritative, still very emotionally intelligent, compassionate, and understanding. Interesting. Ooh, ooh. Hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's interesting. All right, you guys. I'm gonna once I get Darrell's chart, I'm gonna interpret that. Um and then we're out of here. Oh, awesome. I got the PNG. Okay, we got a goat here. Oh, no way. What the fuck? 83. Oh, you're born 83. Oh shit. Dude, you have a once in every 12-year ultimate legend that people born in 83 or 95 have. The next time was 95, and then 2000 and no. Yeah, 2019. So I must be missing one, but basically you have a 12th house Jupiter Sagittarius. So there's so the ultimate legends come in different qualities. The Capricorn rising has the potential once every 12 years to attain ultimate chaos magic. And not only were you born with Sun, Uranus, and Jupiter and Mercury in the 12th, are you fucking serious? That's crazy. Oh my God. You're basically a god, bro. You're not human. You're not human. Like, it's one thing to have Jupiter in the 12th, but like you have all the alien constructs. I have to give you this alien construct article because in the 12th, you see higher frequency beings, you channel higher frequency beings, you literally assist people in ascension. You can see elements of the unseen. You can quite literally create out of thin air. This is high godly supernatural perspective, but at this stage, being born in the 80s, this is harvesting and integrating, for example, Saturn squaring in Pisces, your Sag, a way to adjust your perspective out of the 12th house. In other words, Sorrel, you may have been hidden in the spiritual closet your whole life because the collective did not have a way of putting you in their box. And now, as this conscious ascended creator, once again, Kanye West told other people, I told you who I thought, Gemini. I told you who I thought I was, a god. And what he was really explaining are the fact that he has a god construct. He has Jupiter on his sun, just like his daughter. People who have these god constructs are effectively like gods. So you have a triple tiered god construct with Zeus in its sign, Uranus and Neptune in the 12th house of transcendence. And as a Capricorn rising goat or director, elite personality, this enables you to harness this God construct at the God level. So everything about Aquarius in your second house, as you say, it's intercepted, but if I'm using the equal signs, it's even if it's intercepted, it's still going to count as a second house, just delayed and ranged in a way. You, during this Aquarius season, are reawakening the attitude around how knowledgeable your value is and how your mind can manifest like lightning. I, in my 10 years of reading astrology, have never seen a chart as magical as this. And you have, I mean, I've seen magical charts, but I haven't seen a stacked 12 house Sag like this. Leo moon makes you the golden ascension, but like the quality of fire that you're able to harness like this is like the movies. So I would love to maybe have a reading with you or whatnot, so I can ask you questions, talk to you about this. Yeah. Saturn on your MC also adds a lot to the precision here. So Aquarius season is going to really do its process of preparing to integrate all this, because on top of that, being born in 83, you have all of this in your South Node. So you have South Node, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune. So like you come from this etheric Mount Olympus-ian realm. You came into life with this transcendent meaning because your destiny is like a truther who is here to truth blast people in ways that can change the behavior around the truth of their lifestyle. You see the private worlds people live, and you can literally bring life to it, and people will swear you're delusional because you're seeing things that aren't there until boom, they happen, because you see things before they happen, as they're happening, beyond what is happening. And on top of that, you have the meaning. You're just establishing the word that enables people to understand the meaning you create. It's so amazing. That's wild. It is crazy, as you say. And thankfully, this next era is, if in manifesting your powers it's been rocky, Pluto is out your rising. It's no longer rocky. Now it's time to establish this new ground and to really heighten the quality of how much more extremely all your abilities hit. Woo! That was wild. Also, anytime you show up in an environment like 12th house Sagittarius energy, like you, is showing up in the store, and right when you walk, like, there you go. Remember when Drake won like $1 million or so playing the casino, and it was right when Lil Baby walked past him, the Sagittarius of luck? You're like that, but on steroids. So in the 12th house, so in the video, people saw Lil Baby and they knew, oh snap, he walked by and that happened. For you in the 12th house, that person in the casino at the store didn't know they hit the jackpot because you walked in. Just like people in the live chat may not realize, just by you being here, you're quite literally evolving everyone. Like, you're giving people this sense of abundance. To talk about that is crazy. People would think you're delusional, but you see it. And this Aquarius season is going to manifest the knowledge of not only how this goes down, but how more to articulate it, because you've broken through this fundamental belief in self. Yeah, that's fucking badass. I'm not gonna lie, that's freaking dope. So you guys stay blessed as always. I have this live video publicly available for anyone who wants to catch the replay. Happy birthday, Aquarius. And you guys stay blessed as always. Peace.